State of the Nations presents Cyhawk Update. All the news that's not fit to print, nor for our hosts to say, but it's the news you really want. Now your host, Ronnie Jenkins.
Thank you. I'm Ronnie Jenkins with this Cyhawk Update. As a new sports season gets underway for the Cyclones and the Hawkeyes, we look back. Before we look ahead, Hawkeye Nation was relieved when the almost annual Kirk Ferentz to the NFL rumors were proven false yet again, despite the fact that Pittsburgh Steelers, long thought to be Captain Kirk's dream job, had an opening after Bill Cowher stepped down. There was never really a need to worry about Ferentz departing. After all, no NFL franchise wants to hire a coach who's 13-12 in his last 25 games. I mean, come on. Do you really think the NFL is going to hire a coach who lost to Indiana and Northwestern, let alone in the same season? Another off season, another coach firing or resignation in Ames. This time it's Dan McCarney's turn to sleep with the fishes. So if you're keeping track at home, so far Jamie Pollard has already put down Bobby Douglas, the dad from Family Matters, who was in that Die Hard movie, the first one, and Old Yeller. So Gene Chizik has a coin fashioned in his image. What will they actually do at Iowa State when he wins a game? Speaking of prayer, the team chaplain controversy at ISU, we here at Cyhawk Talk have just one thing to say to atheist professor Hector He Doth Protest Too Much, Avalos. You just got jacked up. And finally, the biggest sports story in the state for this offseason was the demise of the Steve Alford era. There was the fact that Alford did not go quietly, which was a surprise to nobody except perhaps the cult-like jock sniffers who apologize for his every faux pas and just worship and want his glorious hair. He actually claimed that New Mexico was a step up. Funny, because the governor of New Mexico left that state to come here to what Alford would call freaking Iowa. He tried to get the University of Iowa to pay his cell phone bill and Final Four expenditures, which we would have agreed to in exchange for finding out who he was making all those private calls to. And then his false prophet sidekick, Wormtongue, actually tried to spin the move by pointing out that New Mexico has been putting more players in the NBA than Iowa over the last decade or so. But doesn't anyone realize that Steve Alford was the coach at Iowa and couldn't get any of the players good enough to go into the NBA? Which just proves yet again that Wormtongue isn't exactly the brightest bulb in the chandelier. Well, now that Neilford is gone, what is Dace going to do for Cyhawk? What is Dace going to do on his show? I don't know. For Cyhawk Update, I'm Ronnie Jenkins. Grow up.
You've been watching Cyhawk Update here on State of the Nations. Cyhawk Update is brought to you each week by the People's Republic of China, where each day they plan the conquest of America by poisoning our children with lead-based paint on their cheaply made toys. The gutless hosts and producers of this program are not responsible for the content of Cyhawk Update, nor do they agree with it. But like you, they think it's funny.